All right, welcome back. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be in time and space, my fellow sim friends. All right. So, did the helicopter certification earlier, and we'll probably jump over and try one of the helicopter missions in a minute. But I wanted to just do some normal career stuff. And right off the bat, I'm pretty happy because this one was unless it's changed. I just had it a minute ago. It was just to move an airplane. Maybe it's changed in the last hour since I looked. Fly some people. Yeah, that's too bad. There was just a minute ago. Just fly a Cessna across town. I thought that'd be easy. Fly a DR400 Cadet to its owner near Wano. Yeah, all right. Something easy, right? Get us back into it. Hope you're doing well. Mr. Newman left us his plane following an emergency landing. After a detailed check, we've agreed to get it back to him in Wano. $58 miles, 86 pounds. Michael Jensen is the mechanic. He doesn't look strung out. Boy, that instructor we had earlier, the first one, before I botched the certification test. Yeah, that guy looked like he was strung out bad. He hadn't slept in a week, and he's been binging some heavy powder, hanging out at the bar. Or the club, you know. I flew one of these DR400s yesterday with Henning and Hans and Vestry. Up. Or not. Come on. Why isn't it not selecting remove pitot cover? Well, that won't do. What about this one? Hey, that one did. Well, we can skip that other one, it seems. It's kind of reminding me of my old man's Piper Cherokee.
Appreciate your help today, Cap. It's Michael here. Today's lucky bird heading to Cheyenne County Muni is this charming little DR400/100 Cadet. The owner had to get his aircraft repaired over there. Now that it's fixed, he needs someone to fly it back to him. He is already waiting for it. His name's Mr. Mike Newman. Treat this aircraft like a newborn baby. That's it for me, see you.
That's it for me, see you.
India November traffic KIN Tango Lima India 4111 is taxiing to runway 1.
Well, at least they say my name right. Just a moment here. Pre-flight activity. That's about right here in the Midwest. I mean, it's a beautiful day in Colorado. The sun has been out all day. It's not been cold at all. And most of the snow is just like that here. We're not too far from Colorado. I think we're closer to Nebraska or at the edge of Wyoming. I'm not entirely sure. Somewhere over there. But yeah, that's the way it looks outside right now. Just touches of snow still left here and there. But overall clear skies, beautiful day. Perfect day for flying.
Kilo Oscar India November traffic KOIN Tango Lima India 4111. Taking off runway 17 departure to the west.
Not every airport has a tower. And so if you don't get a response, that's usually the reason why. But once you go ahead and radio it in, you should be good to go. Okay. I have a parking brace. Taxi to start runway 17. Take off from runway 17. Come on. Oh, they want me to go all the way down and do a U-turn. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at what is right in front of my face. And a pretty strong wind. Got the sock sideways. That's got me wondering on the sock, since it does got dividing red and white areas. I wonder if you can determine relatively the speed based on how much of the sock is fully extended. Like if I were to look back at it, you would see that it's halfway extended, but the tip, the tail end, if you will, that's still kind of droopy. So I wonder, you could estimate it and say, well, if it's not extending the sock out all the way, then, it could be 10 to 20. I don't know. You know anything about that? Can you actually determine? Does it matter? I mean, can you determine the speed by how much sock is being elevated, extended? Just a tiny bit of trim. Nose up. Oh, I can't wait for everything to start turning green again. I'm glad that they've got the seasons in there, in it now in 2024. And I really hope it does a good job, because if we do get a decent amount of moisture across the Midwest, it really gets pretty. About almost 3,900. There we go. Somebody in the forum told me that the Bushtalk Radio works in Career, and it does not. Or I don't have the latest version of the software. It works in Career. It works in Free Flight, but it doesn't at the moment work for me in Career. I was all excited because I thought I had the latest. If I don't, great, then that'd be great. I'd really enjoy having it in career mode. It's nice having something to narrate the journey whenever you come across a cool point of interest. He only told us to climb to 3.9, but the boxes are still above us. I'm going to go ahead and climb. Sorry, since we're up here so high, it's got me thinking. What I want to do is put this into quality. I don't know that we need frame generation. But we don't have buildings right at the moment. We don't have any trees. Can't see the plants. Can't see the rocks. And can't see the grass. And I don't need a lot of detail on the objects, but what I want to do is pump up the terrain level of detail to absurd. And we don't really have any clouds at the moment. So put everything into the terrain. Actually, I don't have my head tracker set up. Kind of strange looking. All right, basically straight and level. Just a touch. Close enough. Try to save the mister a little bit of fuel. Where is the mix on this thing? Right. Well, that's an interesting looking shell of a building, a home, farm. If that's a home, that's... I know people with homes that size. I did anyway. Just filthy rich, you know, like stadium builders and stuff. Just shameless money and just enormously huge. Beyond mansion. You know, mansion, you know, these are complexes. I have to say that would be really nice. At the same, you know, I'm not envious. I don't ever want to be envious, but it's nice to think that, if I had shameless money, you know, what would I do if I owned a... Man, I don't even need a complex. I could deal with the mansion, but but even then, that seems too much space. But what I would like, since I'm into the gaming and simulation and everything, these guys that build these home cockpits, right? So, some kind of a room for gaming or experience where it's either monitors all around, or eventually I need to get into the VR, but you know, I wear glasses and everything else, and it's always ends up being a pain in the glass doing anything with optics. By the way, just have you seen these, I want to say that they're monitors, but they put like, it's like monitors all on the walls, on the floors, and on the ceilings, and they're getting like the full wraparound experience. Screens that are big enough to make everything seem the size that it is. That would be nice. All 100K screens. I don't think they make those yet, but I'm imagining being rich. So I would pay at that point. Can you make one that's 100K? Yeah, but it'd be really expensive. I don't care. Make me a 100K screen. I want to be able to see, you know, every hair on every sheep down there. It is getting that good pretty much. It's because I'm older and come from the 80s, you know, where we started out with Space Invaders and Pong. You know, this is such a dream. Again, more big complexes over there to our left. This is such a dream where we're at. And I'm glad I'm able to have survived this long, despite my foolish lifestyle. And well, in the past, mostly. Spotty youth. To be able to see the graphics at this level is so cool, and I hope that I can be around to be a Skydude for a lot more years, a lot of years, and that I don't get taken out of the game anytime by something unnatural or, you know, whatever. Because, wow. Because pretty soon there will be, you know, 100K screens and every blade of grass is fully rendered and yeah, it's so real. All the lighting is absolutely perfect. And I think of that for all kinds of different games. I love, yeah, I would love to see like Rome Total War, another Rome Total War for this generation and the next. I'd like to see a lot of older games be remade for stuff like the with today's stuff. Some of the Lord of the Rings games that I played early on, the Battle for the Ring or whatever they were called, some of the earlier ones from the first movies. Wow. I was really looking forward to Civ 7, but it's not getting a good kickoff. And so far as I understand, they rejected my when they asked everybody what they wanted to see. What do you want to see in Civ 7? The only thing I wanted to see was them bringing back our remember in the early Civ games you had like one of those Highlander rooms, your throne room, and you could decorate it the way you wanted and have artifacts around you from all your different time periods and conquests like the Highlander. I wanted that back. I wanted you know, a room for my stuff. And as far as I know, they haven't put a room for my stuff back into Civ. And you know, some people are saying it's fantastic. You'll really enjoy this thing that they've done with different ages. And other folks are saying, no, you've created an entirely new game. This is no longer Civ. And, you know, I don't know. Oh, I think I'm just going to wait for it to go on sale, and then I'll play it and start streaming it. I've been a Civ player for forever, from number 1. I've owned every Civ. I've been asking for my throne room since they took it out. Give me back my throne room. It's such a little thing. Put it back. Nose down a little bit. Got some air, I think. Slow down the engine. Come on. We want to conserve some fuel here. Give it a moment, try to balance itself. Come on. Yeah, we got some gusts. Wow, that was a pretty big one right there. Pushing us up and down. Some interesting earthwork going on down there. Oh, I missed construction stuff. Growing up, it's one of those you don't know what you got till it's gone. And when you're a kid, even more so, you don't appreciate, at least me, you don't appreciate or understand, what you have. And what we had when I was growing up is my dad owned a concrete construction company and used to work on all kinds of things, including like subdivisions and large industrial projects. And so we always, on our property, we always had heavy construction equipment. Bulldozers, backhoes, you name it, was there at one point, up to the huge backhoes. I mean, major industrial. And occasionally I'd get to muck about on some of it. Almost killed myself on a backhoe. Dumb. It all worked out, thank God. It was like a miracle happened. And I didn't break it or kill me. But looking at that earthwork down there, it's one of those things too. I think going back to if I was rich and had shameless money and large, vast amount of property, and I think I would get such a kick again out of doing groundwork and like old sim games or any building game. I love doing things that allow you to mess with like the earthworks and terraforming and before you build structures. And I always like building down. People don't do that enough. You know, they're like, well, I got a basement, just a basement, one basement. I like in The Sims, you can build down like 5 stories. So I always pretty much start out as low as I can go before building up. So much unused space underneath us. Also, in the excavation process, you just never know what you're going to turn up. What could be underneath the exploration part? So yeah, as a kid, I didn't appreciate construction and this and that and this, and now I would love to do it. I would love to have the money to do architecture and building stuff, not just building it all, or at least having people make it. You know, do whatever I can myself, and then you hire the best. I'm really excited about the future as far as construction and 3D printing, or beyond that, not just the 3D printing, is just more automated construction. And I had dreams I used to talk to my dad about. I'm like, imagine going out and you've pre-programmed everything in. It's got all the design, all these robots, basically. All of your design plans, every bit of the construction plans is in a computer. And all the machines are networked. And all the machines go out there and perform all of the tasks. So again, you need a lot, way more beyond 3D printing. Multiple machines to do multiple things. You know, the ones that are out there doing all the little terraforming, the ones that are building the forms, and all of it. And I wonder down the road how much will they actually be able to automate construction? Laying the pipes, laying the wires, every bit of it. How much could you actually do? You know, and they're like, well, it's not practical, man. I mean, you're talking about millions of dollars when you could hire 100 people and, you know, put people to work. I get it. But I'm a techno Star Wars, Star Trek minded type person. And I love sci-fi. And I love technological advancement, and I think anything you can think of these days is nothing is seems beyond reason anymore, which is an amazing place to be technologically, because, you know, we can talk about all these ideas that come to mind, and none of it really seems beyond the realm of possibility anymore. Whereas maybe in the 80s, if we'd have been talking about this stuff, it's like, man, you're high, dude. What are you on? What are you? Sorry if that's, hopefully that doesn't flag me with YouTube. Sorry, you are elevated, Monsieur. Your thought process seems very enhanced and elevated. My, whatever are you partaking in? So we've lost a little bit of altitude. Just put a little bit more into the tank, gas-wise. Just come up a tiny bit. I don't know wholly 100%, you know, if your score is lessened by not staying in the boxes. I'm trying to recall what I was thinking about it last time. I think it may, actually. I think a couple of times I tried tests and flying lower, but sorry, my memory, and it's already been, I don't know, several months since I was doing daily streaming. Thank you for hanging in there and checking up on me on a day-to-day basis when I have been putting the videos back up again, these streams. So I want to thank you all for stopping in, even for a minute. It all matters, and it all makes Christine incredibly happy. So when things are slow, you know, every bit of any sort of pennies coming in here and there. Also, if I am not subscribed to you and you need a follower because you need those pennies too, then please say hello. Just drop a hello in the chat room, a hi, drop an emoji, anything, and that allows me to right click on your, or click the dots next to your name and go to channel. And right from there I can click subscribe. Other than that, if you follow me but don't say hi in the chat room, I have to wait for YouTube to process you. And then it will eventually show up on my studio page that you have followed. And then I have to go find your page and subscribe to you that way. And I'd rather that it just be quick and efficient. So please, if you need another follower and need another penny, then subscribe, and I'll put on notifications, and I'll try to, you know, check out whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter what you do. I mean, you might have just a slight interest in this flight sim stuff and you're just checking it out. You might play a whole lot of Baldur's Gate, or you might play a whole lot of something else. Sims, or Civ, or anything. It doesn't matter if whatever you're doing is flight related. It doesn't have to be flight sim related for me to stop in and check it out. Getting some wind again. I was always amazed at these circles on the ground. I'm like, how do they do that as a kid? Well, as an adult now I know. But it was cool. I remember, again, flying with my dad as a kid. He flew. And seeing these patterns on the ground and just loving it. I'm not so much into farming. I don't really have a green thumb. Everything I've tried to grow just goes south. Just not good at it. Some people I know literally are. I mean, that's the beauty of archetypes. The human condition. And some people are, their archetypes are nature and whatever their spirit is. They got it, and they can grow anything. My mother and my aunt are both like savants. They love being out in the yard, and they love being in the garden, and they keep beautiful properties. Everything's immaculate. But all kinds of plants, flowers, trees. The diversity on their properties is wild. I can go over there and what is this? What is that? What is this? What is that? There's just so much variety. I would want to put mine towards gardens and orchards and then have people come and farm it. Here, have some apples. I think if I was given, you know, that, again, you get that kind of money and you're all of a sudden you have property and this and that, and it's like, well, what, other than my gaming room that I've been talking about, you know, what are you going to do with it? And while I am more Republican when it comes to things like socialism and this and that, at the same time, it's like, wow, if I was a steward of and blessed to have those things, yeah, I kind of would like make all this orchards and make all this vegetables and make all that, and then just have people come and get it. All the old kingdoms, once they started getting agriculture and once they started getting orchards, and you know, all these old kingdoms used to have gardens, massive gardens to feed their people and to feed their troops and feed themselves and yada 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 yada. And it used to be more that way, that there was food out there for the people to work and to live off of. And then it seemed like one point in time it became the gardens, they ripped out all the fruits and the vegetables, and it became about now just decoration, just shameless decoration for decoration's sake. And sure, they had different types of plants and flowers and this and that and this, but what was missing was the hey, come and eat part of it all. Stroll through the gardens, grab a couple of apples, you know. Grab some of these, grab some of those. You know, there's always people out there that want to ruin a good thing. But taking too much or whatever. We're schmucks. But at the same time... But at the same time, it would still be nice to be able to do something like that. They're like, how come these billionaires, they never do anything cool? You know, we've never even seen a billionaire become a superhero yet, as far as we know. They don't do anything cool with their money. Just buy themselves stupid things. And, you know, and that's the thing. It is all down to the character of the person. What do you want? I mean, what's important? Really? I think it would be cool to have fun toys, but it's not that important. It's not that important. Material things aren't that important to me. Doing this is you know, I get off on this. This is great. I don't need much more than this. I'm an artist. So as long as I got my paper and my paints and my pencils and my inks and my whatever, that makes me happy in life. Do I got a place to sleep? Yeah. Do I got food? Yeah. But those are like my two primary things in life, is just drawing and painting and doing art and having some fun with the computer. I still kind of would like to put flying on a bucket list. If you're a loader out there and you happen to be tuned in at this moment and you're listening to this, maybe we should give that kid some money. Maybe he'd do the right thing. First thing, is going to get your flying licenses is terribly expensive. And a lot of the schools around here are being really cool. They're like, well, we'll lower the price of your training depending on how much knowledge that you bring to the training. If you know some stuff and you come in and you could just pretty much jump in and take a test, the written test. If I show up and say, if you show up and say, I can pass the written test, then they'll lower the cost and your fees for the training part, and you're getting your licenses or whatever. But either way, it's still terribly expensive. My point is, if you're loaded, I think I have super chat on my account now, so you could super chat me thousands of dollars, or contact me for my PayPal to send me thousands of dollars. I'll go get my licenses. I'll go learn how to fly for real. Over at Meadow Lake, where I've done all my most of my flying on any of these live streams, my home base is Meadow Lake. K-Fly. Isn't that the coolest? We got the coolest name. KFLY. So yeah, I want to go train at K-Fly. I would want to go train at K-Fly and fly out of K-Fly. It's probably about 15 minutes from here. And I drive right by the Colorado Springs Municipal Airport, our big one, going out that way. So not far to go, and we can keep this nice and tidy to an hour. There's some other lovely groundwork going on down there. That just looks like it'd be fun to drive around. They got the spirit. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, give me some land to do something with. I really don't like getting into politics when I'm doing the stream, It's not what you're tuned in for. But there was a time in the past when people in government were a little bit more logical. And they were really good about developing the United States, getting it developed. And they would do things like mega projects. You call them great works. And they would put thousands of people to work. But now they've got us in debt so badly that, but they've invited in millions and millions of people, but they didn't put any great work projects together or mega projects. And if you fly over the interior of the United States, everybody's like, we want reparations. We want our 40 acres and a mule. And I'm thinking, man, I wish I was in charge of things like the Department of Interior. It's like, you know what? We need infrastructure linking all of these states. There's nothing going on. There's no activity. There's no development. You'd be driving for hours and hours and hours. There's just so much going on out there with nothing going on. I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna need a Starbucks at least every 100 miles. Pop. We're gonna need some Walmarts. We're gonna need some Home Depots. We're gonna need some residential, blah blah blah. The whole Sims, residential, commercial, and industrial. Would love to go backwards in time, let's say 10 years, and do that before they, you know, you're gonna invite 1 million people in. Hey, we need 1 million people. New people, and then we got our own people, but we need another 1 million probably. And we're gonna do all this Walmart, Home Depot, RCI development across the interior of the United States. And because you're building it, you'll get the first opportunities to start buying into it. Properties, businesses, being involved in governments. I would have done that.
Kilo Sierra Yankee Foxtrot traffic KIN Tango Lima India 41112 miles east 4900. Ford inbound to land runway 14.
All right. This is not really how I think you want to enter a pattern, but if they want us to enter over there, I'll just go ahead and fly that instead of cutting it. Oh, I see, and then more boxes are popping up, making it your entry into this thing a little bit more confusing. This would be more proper, though, to come out here and spin around and go back. Some of the places I've flown in Colorado in the last year, doing the Bushtalk Radio, checking out fishing and camping and other spots. I really want to take the time this year to see if I can physically get Christina to go with me to check some of those places out. I would like to do some camping and fishing and check out some of these cool things that I've discovered in my own state that I've never gone and checked out. Oh, I wonder what they're doing down there, if that's just a wastewater or a water treatment plant of some kind. Nice little field down there, football field. Oh. Those little streams down there?
Kilo Sierra Yankee Foxtrot traffic Kint Tango Lima India 4111 is on final runway 14 to land.
Bit of a crosswind. Oh, no wonder he could drop this one off for repair. He's got another one sitting there as a spare of the caravan. He's loaded. So now we're going to need an Uber to get out of here.
Kilo Sierra Yankee Foxtrot traffic Kint Tango Lima India 4111 is taxiing to parking.
I am not taking this through the grass. Wants to go. Just barely above idle again. She wants to take off. Good little plane. Oh, and he's even got more planes over here. And he's got a lot of friends. Whoops.
Welcome to Wayno. Hope this trip was a walk in the park. Anyway, I appreciate your professionalism. My DR400/100 cadets finally here, and I thank you for that.
I've never seen hold engine auto stop before. What is that? Well, not bad for our first ferry flight back. I'll take it. All right. Well, not bad for an hour. Not bad for an hour's worth of work. That helps. All right. Where's our logbook? Oh well. All right, well, thanks for tuning in to this live stream. I'll be back a little bit later to do another, possibly even another. But for editing purposes, right at the moment, I want to keep these down to about an hour or so. Okay, so I'll see you on the next go round. Commanders, captains, sim pilots, friends and family. Oh, somebody on one of their live streams today said big love at the end of their live stream, and that's what I say to my favorite celebrities on Twitter. I reserve that for them. Big love, but cool. Alrighty, big love.